Get into it, y'all. Get into it. You have no idea. You have no idea what it took just now to get all this together. Anyway. Get into it. I am prepping my hair for wash day. I already have a short video out on that, so I'll link it down below. But I'm really excited to talk about my hair journey today with you guys because, like most zillennials, you know, in between Gen Z and millennials, that like cute 1990, I think it's 95 or 96 to like 2000 or maybe like 1999 folks. We grew up when the internet was just coming around. So when I was in high school, you guys, like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those things were just beginning to pop off. And I just remember YouTube being my particular social media of choice. Loved it on there. The girlies were super cute. And seeing Natural in her bathroom, you know, working on recipes to try to take care of her hair. I remember watching KimeTube, trying to even understand like what is the structure of my hair and what is shampoo and conditioner, like how does all of that work. Even to watching Mono's hair, she would take care of her and her sister's hair, and I thought that was so cool from the perspective of I think she was an at-home stylist or like a self-trained stylist, and then because she was doing like her friend's hair in her kitchen and stuff. And then she was like a cosmetology trained stylist. I think that's how she got started. Either way, she does great work. But I watched them all the time. And I felt really inspired to cut my hair. And of course, this is like what, 2010, 2011. So the big natural hair movement is going on, and everybody kind of wants to discover what is their hair actually like. I decided to begin my journey growing my hair, trying to figure out what worked for me. It's crazy, the community, creativity, and camaraderie, self-realization, self-actualization, I was able to find. I really enjoyed that aspect of going natural. But I really kind of was fed all of that information, and I love learning about it. I thought it was so cool. I was like, what do you mean my hair doesn't have to be this flat, relaxed thing? Because mind you, this is me going into my freshman year of high school. I've already been through middle school. I think even before entering middle school, you already have your first relaxers or whatever. And I'm not mad at my mom or like blame the women in my sphere who took care of my hair at the time, because it very much just was what they knew and what they had been taught themselves of how to take care of their hair and what was going to be best for them. So from the viewpoint of having this relaxed hair, seeing all these other women on the internet with like all this pretty curly long hair at that, because I think I could only get my hair to a bob. I think I have some pictures from back then. I think I could only get my hair to like this short little bob length. I look like a cute little girl. And really seeing that women, Black women specifically, were able to grow their hair super long with their natural hair, like no chemicals needed. And even then, you could still straighten your hair. You could still get a nice straight look. There's a reason why there are so many videos on YouTube of press outs. There are 15 million videos on YouTube of how to get a press out, watching professionals do press outs. I don't know if you guys know Her Given Hair. I love going on her channel and watching her do somebody's hair down. There's another lady on here who does the texture release. I love going and watching those videos. But back then, I hadn't experienced any of that. I hadn't had the choice to see my own hair and how it looked, and I was really intrigued with the process. Like I really wanted to know everything back then. I don't know if I want to know everything now, but there are a lot of things that I feel like I still can learn about my hair. And that period of discovery and it feeling like natural hair was a new and different thing, I was really here for it. I was really gung-ho for it. And, you know, I decided that summer I wanted to go natural. Girl, when I tell you I failed, I failed so bad. I don't even think I made it past the summertime. Because mind you, this was like 8th grade going into 9th. And I was at home a lot and I had to take care of my sister and watch her in the summertime. So 8th grade to 9th grade, watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos, as I've already explained. And thinking like, nah, I think I want my hair. So I think I went that entire summer. You know, you're let out, I think it was in May back then, or like early June. I feel like we got out in May, into May in South Carolina. All the way to August without putting a relaxer in my hair, which is a typical, I want to say, new growth period for some folks, about 4 to 6 months. And then you go in and you get it again to relax your roots. And girl, let me tell you, my mom asked me, we were in my Aunt Lizzie's house in Columbia, because we had just finished like school shopping, and I think we were just hanging out or whatever. And my mom had gone to the hair store because she had relaxer for my sister's hair, or maybe she was there to do my Aunt Lizzie's hair, one of the ways. And she turns to me and she was like, you sure you don't want me to? And I folded, girl, I folded like that folding chair that when the people was on that boat. I folded just like that and got the relaxer. And that was kind of my first foray into natural hair, like trying to keep on the chemically straight ends and like manage your own hair was really hard. All right. Yeah, at the time, all I really knew how to do with my hair was wash, condition, blow dry, flat iron. And like the heat damage that my roots were still getting, crazy, and definitely not good for someone if you think you're gonna go natural. Like you're thinking about, oh, I wanna cut all this hair off and see this other side of my hair, but you've been frying it for the past 4 months as well. It wasn't good. But yeah, so I went ahead in the summer before my freshman year, my first try and fail to go natural. But I feel like I learned a lot from that experience as far as what it would take on my side, the upkeep side, to keep trying to go natural. And so sophomore year, yeah, I tried again. I definitely tried again. And this time, of course, a little more research, definitely seeing the girls doing their big chops and thinking that maybe that was a route that I wanted to go. Seeing how other people managed like their hair because they wanted to keep it, they didn't want to lose the length. And trying to figure out like what was going to be the best one for me. But you know, at that age, your parents still have a pretty big deal on like a pretty big deal. Your parents still have a pretty big control over what you are and are not going to do to your hair. Even though at the time, my mom was like, no, I'm not going to be taking care of your hair. I want to say regularly because like my wash days were up to me. Having basic styles on an everyday basis was up to me. But she would help like trim my hair. She would help braid my hair down. So it was like that. I don't know what that's about though. But I've heard from more than a few women that their moms did the same thing. So I'm like, girlie, why couldn't you just teach me instead of abandoning me like that? Anyway, so sophomore year, before high school, I got a terrible relaxer. Yes, it was from my mom. I don't know what was going on, but there were sores across the perimeter of my head. Like it was crazy the amount of damage that one relaxer did. And that's when it kind of solidified in the park for me that no, I'm not about to be doing relaxers no more, not on my hair. why would I ever do that? And it was hard since my mom didn't want me to do a big chop and get like a teeny weeny afro and hold on to the ends. I really relied on protective styles at the time. Like, I remember having braids in, well, I'll be honest, until those sores in my hair healed, I still wore my hair straight, still had it straightened or whatever. But then when that was finally healed up and I could do like updos and different styles like that, I transitioned into getting protective styles like braids. When my hair got really thick at the roots, oh my gosh, I hope I have a picture I can show you guys. It was so big. It was just because the roots were puffy growing in and my hair was so long. My bob looked crazy. I mean, now I kind of wish I could achieve a voluminous style like that. And I realized that, yeah, it does take dead ends, but my bob was huge, girl, huge. I allowed my sores in my head to heal fully before I started doing protective styles. And of course, at that time, the girls are getting box braids, the girls are getting twists. My mom may have done like 1 or 2 updos on me with flat twists, which was fun. And now, at that point, I was just kind of excited to see what my real hair texture would be like, because nobody tells you that texture you see when your hair is still holding on to the long, relaxed ends is not really your like that's not really how your hair is going to look. You should really give your hair, in my opinion, from the 15 years of my hair to now, you should really give your hair at least 3 years to grow without any heat or chemicals to see what your texture is like. Because at first I thought I was gonna have like this really loose ringlet curl, which as you can see was not that. And I was excited about it. Not that at that point I thought that I would have like maybe 3A, 3B hair, because I have an aunt and my hair's kind of always been long like hers, but my mom has like really coarse, kinky hair, and I didn't know that at the time because she had her hair relaxed. So it's like, I didn't really know what I was gonna get from my scalp, and I was just kind of excited to see whatever it was. And when I finally did see it, I kind of was in love. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to take this and run, baby. I'm ready to try out different things. I want to put styles in it. And when my mom finally cut my hair, I think it was the summer before junior year, I was over the moon, girl, because I had been doing my homework. I told you I've been watching Natura and all them. I had done my homework. I was ready to put in the Bantu knots. I was ready to do the flat twist outs. I was ready. I don't think I ever thought I was going to do a wash and go. But I did do some wash and goes. My go-to style, I'm pretty sure I have a picture, maybe not of the back, but of the front of it, is underhand twist up the back of my head with the top of my hair out with my little bit of hair. I love that. Ate it down perfection every time I put it on my head, okay? And for a long time, I was kind of just really happy with my hair. The fact that it was growing, I could get it to do all of these things. I had wonderful women in my life, to be real with you, who challenged me on what my definition of natural hair was, because they had natural hair, but they just wore it in different ways. And I think now that's why it's less to me about whether you're a pure straight natural or pure curly natural or anything like that, because that's weird. But it is, do you take care of your hair? If you relax it, are you like processing it to hell so it's just this lifeless thing? Or are you going for like the textured? That's the lady who does texture releases, but essentially relaxers where you don't allow the hair to just fall flat and get fried. Because sometimes I do see those videos, and like, no hate or anything, But like when it's wet and the hair is not like springy or anything like that, I'm like, oh my God, what happened to your hair? And it's just a chemical process to get rid of all that, essentially. Get rid of all the curls and kinks that they found a challenge to deal with, is honestly what I hear most of the times in my life at that time. So I say women, but they were girls. We were in high school, y'all. People like Kiana, Darnisha. I talked about Denisha, Jasmine, Deanna. All of these women were not like, I'm seeing their hair and I'm like, oh my God, it's beautiful. Different types of curls. When I experiment with my hairstyles, they either gave me tips or they expressed how much they like it. And all these years later, like, it really stuck with me. So I really appreciate them. Even to the point where, like, my senior pictures was a Bantu knot out, and you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me it wasn't cute. And my hair had finally like gotten long. It wasn't quite as long as this, because this is like roughly 4 years worth of growth. Who really encouraged me and spilled secrets, gave encouragement, support for my natural hair. And I really I love that. That was a great time in my life. That was a really great time in my life. And then I went on to undergrad. Ew. Ooh. And then I went on to undergrad and met more like-minded women. Thank God my roommates felt like God sent, gift from earth, like the best women who I could have possibly been paired up with as roommates. Like, really, our goals aligned in so many ways to think about it, like so many ways. But yeah, going natural was a real community builder for me. It was easy to connect with other Black women because a lot of them were on the same journey I was. It was something really fun to bond with my friends over us doing. Because when I got to undergrad, girl, I was a wash and go and puff warrior. I finally figured out a way to make it work. And you know, once the wash and go starts going, all you have to do is put on a big, what am I trying to say? Hair tie. Put on a big hair tie. You put it up. Huge. Huge puff. Nobody cares. And that was a way, you know, to kind of get around, because I feel like all of our commitments were starting to overrun each other. So me and Lade, wash and go puff warrior gang. I have so many pictures of us like in puffs and stuff. But I also had a roommate who was smart. She played it hella smart. You wanna know what she did? She had regular appointments to get 2-strand twist like styles. Oh my God. If I could find somebody in Connecticut to do that for me, you have no idea. If I could find somebody in Connecticut to do 2-strand twist styles that were affordable and would last, she would have them for like 2 weeks, the hair out, and let it out for like another week. It would be good as long as she was taking care of her scalp. And then she would go and get it all done again, like 3 months worth of not worrying about a style. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I would do it. But also, you know, college is a very experimental time. So I started wearing more of scarves Scarves as head wraps, which was very fun. I would put them over my Bantu knot so it would look like a crown. I picked up like funky colors in scarves and experimented with new ways to tie them, because honestly, you could put a scarf on every day and that thing could look different every day, depending on the type of scarf, depending on the way that your hair is. It's really cool. And in addition to head wraps, I also started playing around in wigs, girl. My first one was a kinky straight one, and I made the wig myself, which was crazy. I had a friend at the time who was like really good at it, taught me how to do it. I decided to try it myself, and it didn't come out half bad. Like, if I wouldn't have chopped that wig, I would probably still have it to this day. I also did short pixie wigs. I did the very long, like 26-inch. And mind you, I'm only like 5'4", so it's like a third of my body was hair. I also did, I was saying I did short pixie wigs. I did natural hair wigs. I did long wigs. I did bobs. I did curly hair. I really did it all. And I'm really happy I did, because I will tell you that the type of man that approaches you with the type of hair effect is so real. I remember in high school, like, just trying it out for the first time, doing some twist outs that probably look sus, telling me that, oh, your natural hair might not be for you, and kind of looking at him crazy. And then also being around the guys who are like, oh, you natural queen, like goddess. And it's like, dude, I will put a wig on. And also being around the ones who are kind of amazed when your hair is straightened, that all of that hair is yours. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we teaching the men? What are we prioritizing as hair health to the men for them to have these varying reactions? And I know some of it is texturism, of course. But I don't know. Weird. The funniest interaction I've ever had around my hair was my grandma. Just looking at it, was like, oh, it's so wild and unkempt. And you know what? At the time, I was a wild woman. And I was like, that's just who I am right now, Grandma. That is just who I am right now. But she always like smiled at it, because I think she saw a bit of herself in it. But yeah, college was a very experimental time for hair, a very fun time for it. Bonding with, honestly, anybody on campus with natural hair. They'd be like, oh, how long have you been natural? And, oh, I just went natural, but, you know, I've been doing X, Y, Z to take care of it. And they would drop their tidbits about how they took care of their hair and what worked for them. And you share, like, what works for your hair. It's just very fun. Of course, my hair's 4C, my hair's 3A, my hair's blah, blah, blah. All to realize that that was just a typing system made for a hair care line that just helped us further cement texturism as part of our community. And texturism, you know what? The definition is in the description box. I literally stopped talking right here and didn't have another comment, I don't know. I think I just locked in and I was like, I need to finish my hair. I've been talking too much. So I'm going to finish up with this voiceover. Essentially, college was a great experimental time. There were more people who I was able to meet, connect with, all that good stuff. And when I finally ended up graduating, my hair was the longest it had ever been. But I was so tired of it. And that was mainly because that transition point in my life was so weird. I felt like there were multiple people trying to label me or fit me in a box. Sometimes I felt like my hair was more noticeable than I was as a person. So I had my best friend cut it off and I felt so free. I remember him asking if I was going to cry, but what he didn't know was that I really needed some type of change that I could control, rather than the turbulent shift from being a bustling social student to a overworked, overburdened adult. Unfortunately, though, this was January 2020, and my new cut and freedom found me social distancing in the house. I did make it out for one trip before, lockdown, but it was kind of great timing because I didn't have something else that I feel like I constantly had to take care of while I was under that stress. Especially because I was classified as an essential worker. So I was working from home and I had scheduled times to go into the lab. But I still tried to do something for me. So I took up running with my friend and we went to a whole bunch of trails in Durham. I feel like that was some of the healthiest I'd ever been in my life doing that running. And I got over myself and applied to grad school. So all of these good things happening to me, I had Devin cut my hair so many more times before I decided to just let it grow, and things got weird. More than the awkward phases in between growing out your hair, I was stressed out from school. But my hair, she was a trooper. She still grew. Yay. She was still growing. I tried bad wigs so I could just get away with braiding my hair down, because there was not really a schedule that I was following, especially with everything I had going on in school. I just felt like that was the most frumpy I'd ever allowed myself to look in my life. And I succumbed to just putting 2 big old braids on the side of my hair, wearing scarves, hats, whatever to cover it up. But yeah, my grandmother would not be proud. So this year is really big for me because I want to rediscover the joy of doing my hair and the freedom I found as a young woman to even dare just wear the hair that grows from my scalp out. So please like this video for more hair videos. Tell me about where you are in your hair journey in the comments below, and subscribe to help my channel grow. I'm really trying to reach 100 followers this year. I would really appreciate it if you went ahead, hit the subscribe button, share this with a friend who you think would find interesting, and tell me something about yourself. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great one.